bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you. Wow. Well, aloha. Aloha. We got a mellow group today, do we? Look at everybody in a nice little. Well, welcome everyone. This is the wonderful Reverend Rita and the magnificent Reverend Patrick here. Oh. I don't think my mic is on though, is it? No. Do you have it on here? Yes. Ah. It's not on. Is it up, Jonathan? And the beautiful Maria Cristina here with our music.
Thank you.
Okay, you're first. Okay, so Michelle, our wonderful announcer, is, well, I like to say off island, but actually she's on island. And if she's watching Aloha, she's actually doing a tour guide for people for all of the islands here on Hawaii. And so she's actually not off island, is she? No. So we are taking over for that. So first of all, last week, who was at the birthday bash? Raise your hand. We had a great time. We just want to take a moment to just say thank you for everyone for coming, for one, but for everyone who got there early, the wonderful flowers from Marlene and Peter that decorated it. Could you just stand up for just a moment so we can just acknowledge everyone that took place in volunteering? I see you. Yeah, don't be afraid. There you go. All right. Just wanted to acknowledge. And then what's happening right after service today, may I ask? Love. Men and women's group. It is love. And it is the third week and we meet here. The women are in here in their circle and the gentlemen go across the street to undisclosed location that we cannot let you know about. So that's what's happening right after we have a little social and then we do that.
Okay, so there's something happening on Wednesday that I trust that everyone will attend. It's our healing circle. We only do it every other month. It is a very special time to come together with our practitioners, with beautiful music by Maria Cristina this time, yes. And to go into deep meditation, to have spiritual mind treatment, to listen to the beautiful music, which is always healing, and to come and just, you don't have to do anything but show up. And it is a yes. healing experience. I know those that have experienced it already have truly enjoyed it and truly received something from it. So it is Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. and please take advantage of the beautiful consciousness of the music and the practitioners here. And like I said, you only have to show up. There's nothing you have to say, but just sit there and enjoy and receive.
Great. And then we have the spiritual living circles.
And then spiritual living circles with Rebecca DeRuz. Is she here today?
No. Out in Kaua'i.
Okay, out in Kaua'i on the same day, Wednesday. And also it's in your program with Anna Myers at the end of the month on the 25th in Princeville. So, and we have something else special happening this week.
You can just stay here all week.
We kind of started the month slow, but we're making up for it now. We're having a workshop called What is Your ME? Your ME stands for your mental equivalent. And basically what your mental equivalent is how you're seeing and experiencing the world. You have to have a mental equivalent, or you do have a mental equivalent, no matter what it is. That's the way you perceive the world. So based on the book, The Mental Equivalent by Emmett Fox, and also on some work done by Ernest Holmes and other mystics, we are going to have a workshop about this, how to identify what your mental equivalent is, and then how to expand it if you would like to expand it. And when you expand it, your life expands. So I hope you'll join us on Thursday, the 19th at 6, right?
And jumping right into Wallace Waddles. Have you ever heard of Wallace Waddles? Love the name. I don't care. You should come just because of the name Wallace Waddles. And just let me tell you about Rhonda Byrne. Do we know her, the famous lady for, the law of attraction? Well, when she read this book, the of getting rich, the science of getting rich. That is what catapulted her into that movie of The Law of Attraction, which I was very surprised. I mean, yeah, The Secret. And but she read this, somebody gave it to her, and it just changed her life. Which is interesting is because he was born in 1860 and transitioned in 1911. So this stuff has been being said for quite a while now. And so come on down. It's informal. It's from 6:30 to 8. I'm presenting him, and it'll be a very good time. And you've been wondering what our cinema is this month? Yes, because TBA really makes everybody like on pins and needles, right? It is called The Miracle, thanks to Dr. Peggy here, said I have this film that I think you should watch. And we did, and we debated, but we said, I think you're all grown up enough to see this movie. And so it is, I don't know if you're familiar with the illusionist Darren Brown, but it's called Miracle, and it's faith or fiction. That's all I'm going to say about it. Just come, it's short, an hour and 15 minutes. Woohoo! And our discussion afterwards, so please come. It'll be an absolute wonderful time. So take a nice deep breath now.
Yeah, let's let go of all that.
All the announcements. Just be there.
Thank you again for being here. And we want to take a moment to light our new peace candle. We just burnt the peace out of the other one.
We had a little melt pit.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we're going to light our peace candle, and we're going to take a moment like we do every Sunday, because it's all about consistency and practice for all of us, and never giving up, and knowing that peace is right where we are, and that's the only place that it can start. So let's just take a moment of silence for peace. And so I recognize that peace is right here and right now, in this present moment. It is in the heart and soul and mind of each and every person here, always ready to rise itself to the surface and manifest in the world. And so I know that that is what is happening right here and right now, that peace is manifest in this world. And that it comes through each and every mind, each and every heart, each and every soul, as we live that peace ourselves and let it out. So I know that's the truth, and I give gratitude for it. And I give gratitude for peace as I release my word, as we affirm together, and so it is. Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to say something about, we are always talking about what it is that's going around the world that's chaotic that we need peace for. But something happened this week that was another miracle, and something that I think we should celebrate. And if you don't watch the news, it's okay, I'll inform you. But there was the soccer team in Thailand that was in a cave for 2 weeks. And all of them, including the coach, have been released. I was early on in the week. But what I really got from that was we didn't know this team. We didn't care what grades they got in school. We didn't care what nationality they were. We didn't care about anything except that our brothers were down in a cave that they could not get out, and everyone was praying constantly. They were sending out all this love from around the world. And for me, as I get a little emotional about it, I thought we could really learn from that moment. that we could take it into everything that is happening, that there are no borders, there are no walls, there are nothing in the way except for the love that is in our hearts that say we want you to come up out of the darkness. We want you to come out of that tunnel. And they did, and we celebrate that. So I just thought I'd add that into our wonderful time of peace. Yeah.
So, what is the science of mind and spirit? We always say something about it at this point. And I would just like to say that that is what it's about. It's about knowing, like when we treat, we already know that it's really already happened. And we stay consistent with that idea that God is in everything, no matter what it is and no matter what's happening. There is something waiting to be revealed. There is something waiting to be known. And when things like this happen, something's waiting to come up, to be healed. And we know in the science of mind and spirit that all starts with our minds and our hearts. I don't like to say on my mind like I'm thinking it, but when I talk about mind, I'm talking about consciousness. So we start there and we work our way out from there instead of the opposite, looking at the problem. So that's a little thing about the science of mind and spirit that I always enjoy in my life and know that it's helped me a lot.
And so as I'm looking out here to see if there's anyone, we celebrate you all today, but is there anyone who crossed that door for the first time today? Look at you. There you go. There you go. We recognize you by your shells. There you go. But we also, just so you'll know a little bit about you. And we'd like to share it with everyone in the room. Are you ready? Yeah, okay. They got the memos before you guys got here. You ready? And you are magnificent.
Yes, you knew that, right?
Yes, and as I always say, you are relieved that that's what we had to say about you. Yes, indeed. So welcome, welcome. And so we don't only know that about you, but the key to peace, the key to everything is what? We know it about ourselves. So let's all do this together, shall we? I am magnificent. And if you'll just take a little quick peek, there's a camera behind you where Rob is standing there. And Rob every week gives that wonderful, this time together. He lets the world out there, off island, on island, wherever, they know what's going on here. So we need to let them know who they are. You are magnificent. Now look to your left, to your right. I don't care where you look. Just let somebody know who they are. You are You're magnificent. I know you're magnificent.
Deb, you look... Jay, you're magnificent.
Yes. Wow. You are magnificent. And so is that candle with the ring.
Yes. So let's turn to
all
Maria
right,
Christina
so let us
now.
get
Rise
to
up
our feet,
and let's
our
sing our
magnificent
opening song.
feet, and have our opening song with Maria Christina and Luis. That's it. You can move your body too. It's after 9.
Away, away, so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul.
So what I know right here and right now is that there is one power, one energy, one source that is everything. And it's right where I am. It is right where each and every person in this room is and beyond. And I center in that power, in that knowing that it is good, it is love, it is all powerful, and it creates from itself in the most beautiful way at all times. And I know no matter what is happening, that power is there, guiding, guarding, and directing us every step of the way. So I know that today is the day. Today is the day, and this is the moment to allow that power to rise within each of our lives, making everything new right here and right now. And as we're saying today, to go above and beyond what seems to be happening, and knowing that there is a greater tomorrow, a greater future. That's what I know. And so I live in that. I let it breathe through me. I know that is in each and every person here, and I am grateful for this time together to celebrate that. So I just say mahalo, 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 and I release my word. I let it go. I let it go into law, knowing that law makes it so as we affirm together, and so it is.
Away, away, so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rima, and I am going to guide you into the meditation for this morning with this quote. To choose greater life, we must be willing to face our death, by Michael Tamura. So with this, let's close our eyes, take a deep breath, and go into the silence. To choose greater life, we must be willing to face our death. Thank you. So feeling and sensing the presence of God right here, right now, flowing through me, ask me, this presence that is omnipotent, the all-knowing, the all-seeing, the life force that penetrates through every being and all things in this universe. Knowing that I am one with this God, I am one with this power, I am one with this peace. And knowing that every single individual in this room is one with this God, with this life force, this peace that flows through them, through each one of you, through each one in here, with ease and grace. This peace, this unconditional love, joy that is God. And knowing this, I am so grateful. I am so grateful for every word that is said today is received in perfect timing. And for everything that is felt is perfect. And for everyone, every single one here is guided in unconditional love and light with ease and grace every single moment. For this, I am grateful. And I release this into the law, knowing that it is already done. And so it is.
Please turn to your programs.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Let it fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rima, and thank you, Maria Christina. Rima, could I have that quote that you used? Yeah. No, I'm all right. Well, you know what? I'll take a sip. You know, we're all out in the
Behind
open here.
yeah.
You know, I'm not
There's
going to
no
hide.
curtain here, so we might as well.
So the quote says, to choose greater life, we must be willing to, what is that word? Face. I thought it said fair. I'm like, to face our death. Wow, that's like really deep, right? I don't know how you took that, but I didn't take it in its, literal sense. I took it more metaphorically. And it's kind of what we're talking about today, about going above and beyond, because in order to make any kind of change in your life, you've got to be able to die, in essence. I think that's where the statement born again came from. You have to be able to be born again and again and again and again. And not in the sense that we, maybe, at least for me, that the traditional sense of that we hear, but that idea that we're always new and that we're always different and we're always being born again. And I've been thinking a lot about this last couple of weeks, about being programmed, that I'm living by programs, that there's programs that are so instilled in me that I don't even know they're there. And so I'm reacting to everything in the world through a program that's there. Maybe I got it when I was a kid. Maybe I was born with it. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was just through experience of things happening to me over and over again, and it's instilled in there. And so I might be reacting instead of being in the moment. I'm reacting from the past. Is anybody familiar with this kind of thing? Yeah, right? And it's really like, once you know it, it's really fun to catch it. And that's what I've been doing this week, is catching myself living in my programs. And I had a wonderful example of it this morning when someone came up to me and handed me a real estate. Yeah. No, you're not in trouble. It was great. It was so perfect because it gave me part of my talk. So he hands me this thing and he says, "It's all yours." It's all yours, basically. Now, what's the first thing that comes into my mind, because I'm living off past programs, is, well, that's not possible, blah, 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 giving myself all the reasons why that wouldn't be possible, because past programs, tell you that in order to do something like that, you got to have all the money, you got to have this, you got to have that. And this person's saying to me, no, it's already yours. God, he's telling me what I already know, and now I'm being faced with practicing it. What do? I fall into a past program. So, but because I've been catching myself all week, I caught myself and realized that that's what I was doing. And I thought, how will we ever manifest our new center, our new place to live, if I'm living off a past program? I've got to live in the present moment. And so I had another experience this morning that was interesting. I got out of bed, and I'm going to go there. Okay. I got out of bed, and I really was noticing my programs. Notice your programs when you get out of bed. You get out of bed, you do this, and then you do that, and then you do this. That's why I think these people that are these coaches and stuff tell you to try something new and don't have your morning start the same way. Well, Sunday morning I have a ritual. This is what I do, and that's what I do, and that's what I do. So I go in the kitchen to turn on the coffee. And I turn on the light first. I turn on the coffee like I always do, and then all of a sudden there's this huge roach on the counter. Now, I have a really clean kitchen, guys. But unless my grandma used to say, because she was really clean too, and she would say, they're just passing through. So he was just passing through, I guess. I tried. But what I got from it was that I was in my ritual, and in that moment, something came to me that was outside of my ritual. It was outside of my morning ritual. It was outside of my program. And all of a sudden, I'm thrown off. Well, that's just a little thing, and I took care of the roach the best I could, which was not at all, because he was faster than I was. But and he's still there. But the point is that it takes you, when you're in your program, you're not in the present moment. And so you're reacting out of the past, and you're not ready for whatever's in front of you, and you're not living in the present moment. And the whole point of this whole thing is to live in the present moment. And then you can take care of things in the moment. That's just a little thing. But if I'm just living in my past, about it, and all upset because it disturbed my making my coffee or whatever, and this is just a little thing I'm saying, right? Then how am I gonna progress? How am I gonna go above and beyond if I'm still living this past program of getting upset over a roach, right? And what do we do in our lives that are the same sometimes, right? So it's just like the obstacles that I could feel that might be in my path as I try to manifest different things in my life or live anew could be past programs that I think are obstacles, but in reality, they're just opportunities. So I have to let go of those past programs, and that's what I'm really working on. And I really encourage us to go beyond what we've been programmed to think in everything in our life, no matter what's happening, to go beyond and to think it in a different way, because that's how it changes. That's how our lives change. Maybe the circumstances don't necessarily change right away, but if we keep consistent with it, we'll find ourselves living a different life, a new life. And I don't know, that's individual to each person. Ernest Holmes wrote, "Do you look at yourself from a standpoint of restriction? Do you see life limited to the eternal round of getting up in the morning, eating, getting to work, coming home, going to bed, sleeping, getting up again, and so on?" And then he says, if you do that, break the bonds of apparent necessity and see life as one continuous expression of your infinite self. So it's a matter of breaking those bonds, those programs, and realizing that you're more than that. You're not your programs. You're actually the programmer. That's what I'm getting out of this whole thing, and what I'm understanding after practicing this for a long time, that I'm the programmer. I'm not my program. I don't have to react to things the way I reacted to them all the time. I can think anew. I can get into life, and I'm not making it happen anyway. I'm programming a law that's doing it for me. We call it a law energy. It's reacting to everything I'm thinking. It's reacting to everything I'm believing and feeling, especially. Feeling is the most important thing. Feeling. If you can get yourself into the feeling. As I was going through this, I've been reading this little book. It's so good. It's called Know Thyself, which is really interesting. I picked it up at the Hindu monastery. And what's in the center of our thing, but it's going to be over the archway of our new center, is going to say, Know Thyself. And this man, this mystic Gurudeva, I think you're all familiar with him, who are familiar with the center, with the Hindu monastery, said that we should look, if we want to really understand our life, we should look at our life like a river. We should become the river. Just go, in fact, he gives the challenge of going out and sitting by a river and looking at it and realizing that your life is like a river. And you're either in the flow of that river or you're hanging on to the banks of the river in struggle, fear, all those wonderful things that we get to experience. And you're holding on instead of letting yourself flow with the river, so that no matter what's happening in your life, you're flowing with the river of your life. And what's ever showing up, there's something to be known. There's something that wants to be revealed to you. It's not bad or good. Even the most horrendous thing is something wanting to be known, something wanting you to get something about yourself. And that is your magnificence. That's why we say it here every Sunday. So the path of the spiritual warrior is not, and I say warrior not in that we're fighting things, but that we have to be tough with ourselves. We have to be disciplined. We have to not give up just because something looks like it might be awful. When those little boys were in the cave, I just, maybe it's because I'm a mother, and I was just kind of feeling, oh my God, what could their parents feel right now, And Patrick would say, they still haven't gotten them out. And we go, well, let's just pray again. Let's just pray again. And I know there were a lot of people that were doing that. Let's just pray again. Let's just pray again. And it's that consistency of not giving in to the condition and the relative world, and just going back to the one, to the oneness, to the allness that helps us and assists us into our next spiritual evolution, whatever that is for each of us. And it's all different, right? And it doesn't end here. It goes on and on and on and on. Another thing that I got this week was, and it was from Guru Deva too, was this affirmation that was, when things come up, and he said to repeat it, he said, you could repeat it 500 times a day. That's a lot of times. I tried doing it. And guys, it's a lot of times. I did it my whole path on Kaua'i path, or the coastal path, whatever it's called. I call it Kaua'i path. And I still hadn't done 500 times. And it was, I am all right. right now. I am all right now. And the reason he was saying that was because if you're going through something, in reality, you are all right now. And if you keep repeating that to yourself, then it has to show up. And that's why he was saying you have to do it 500 times or more, he said, because this is so like Ernest Holmes. This is why Ernest Holmes studied Hinduism and all of that, and Buddhism and all the philosophies he studied to put the science of mind and spirit together. It's all the same thing, guys. We're all saying the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way. So I totally get that. I get the consistency and how it could take 500 times and it's still not enough. But it is, and then you just keep doing it. You keep practicing because life is about practice. So, yeah. So the other thing we did this week, and I'm just going to kind of end with that, is we watched, we started watching. We were going to show it to you guys, but I suggest you go find it for yourself because it was 4 hours long. So it was about the life of Walt Disney. It's really good. It's a PBS special, and it's too long for one of our spiritual cinemas, but it is worth watching. That man, not everybody liked him very much, and I understood why after watching the film. And he was a very determined man, and he was very a visionary and very focused on what he saw. But he saw things before they happened, and he was consistent about it. I mean, he was consistent. He saw what he was trying to create. He wasn't like a science of mind person. He was just a person that was living the principle of seeing before it happened and sticking with it. And I think that is what it's all about. We have to see it before it happens. We have to see it even when it looks like it's not going to ever happen. We still have to see it and spend the time seeing it and knowing it. And as you know, I love Joe Dispenza. And he was talking about the commonalities between people that have spontaneous healings. They're not really spontaneous healings because these people have been working on them usually for a long time. They just seem spontaneous. He said the things were, they believed in an intelligence greater than they were that ran their bodies. They believed that their thinking contributed to whatever was happening in their life. In order to break it the way they were thinking, they had to reinvent themselves. I love this idea of reinventing myself. It's like you get to be a new person. You're not restricted by whatever's happening in your life or whatever was past. You get to actually create a new person, should you want to. I mean, obviously it's still you, but it's a new you. So they realized they had to reinvent themselves. And in order to reinvent themselves, what did they do? The last thing I've been talking about, consistency. They spent long periods of time reinventing themselves, visualizing themselves the way they wanted to be. So if I had any message today of going beyond and above, I would say it's all about consistency and practice, reinventing ourselves, going beyond the appearances of what's happening, and just sticking with the love and sticking with what we each know really is the truth. And we really do know it because it's there. It's there within our hearts. And we can't deny it. We try to, but it just keeps showing up. That's what spiritual evolution is all about. So thank you. I love you. And thank you. It's been a great week. And you have a great week. All right? Aloha. Thank you.
To free all that ways to be born within me. May your fear be dissolved into love. again. Make the most of this time we're spending, and write this opera with a happy ending. Let's play again. Let's play again. I came here hoping to sing for you. Don't wanna shy away. Wishing to express my true feelings in every way. I sense that where I'm close, I am yet untrue, and I want to unfurl and blossom right here inside of you, where I can know who I am and be who I am, and we can be together. Please show me what it's like to be free forever. May I play again as a child in the ebb and flow, till no song is left unsung as we're dancing through the shadows. May I play again, make the most of this time we're spending, and write this opera with a happy ending. Let's play again. Let's play again. Me all the way with you, all the way with me, like we were meant to be, in each other's arms right here in ecstasy. Eternally, please show me what you want from me, so I can bring you happiness completely. May I play again as a child in the ebb and flow, till no song is left unsung as we're dancing through the shadows. May I play again, make the most of this time we're spending, and write this opera with a happy ending. Let's play again. Let's play again. Ooh,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I was in deep meditation, but I'm awake now. Hello, all. Aloha. Yeah. Well, above and beyond, about a month or so ago, I got this coin. We both got this wonderful coin. And it was from the Pu'ukuma School. Rita and I did some work out there with our theater, and they gave us this wonderful, really cool coin that said, "Thank you for going above and beyond." And I thought, what does that actually mean, to go above and beyond, right? Well, I have a definition, of course, because I didn't like the one the dictionary gave me. So like our Brene Brown, she makes up all hers, and so do I. So mine is taking anything I am involved in and taking it to the heights of its unlimited potentiality. But I go on, as I do. Oh, yes, I know who I am. It is taking something that appears to be ordinary and exposing the extraordinary. Taking something that appears to be ordinary and exposing the extraordinary. I like that. Yeah, exposing it for what it really is, and because there is not one thing that I know of that's ordinary. I don't care how much you pretend. There is nothing happening in this moment that's ordinary. Right now, my body. You don't have to look all over it. But what it is there is so much happening right now to allow this extraordinary event to take place that I have no clue. Trillions of cells are moving through me, the heart's beating, everything's circulating, and not because I told it to. Yes, exactly. So I'm looking at this whole idea, and I wanted to think about the idea of going above and beyond our stories. Now, I know nobody in this room is guilty of any of that, telling our stories and needing to go above them. I actually love, because I do a lot of inner child work, I love the idea of reframing. If you were in the class with me, you will know that I do a lot of reframing, and that is not trying to change the past, but not allowing the past to own me, because it is the past. And so what I do is I go back, and I take that little child back, and I give him take his hand, and I say, how does this look now? And you'd be surprised what that little boy and that little girl has to say. So I went back, Kaleopath. I mean, it must be like this miraculous thing, because the minute you get on it, you start time traveling and doing all of this stuff, and I'm running, and all of a sudden all this wonderful thing. Well, I went back to that wonderful time in my life when I was on a basketball team. Well, let's just put it this way. It's recess. We're all playing basketball. Yeah. Choosing sides in basketball. I don't know if any of you have been there, but I went back and I took my little boy back there. I said, let's see what really went on that field, that you think that everybody really hated you because they were having that look at the end okay, you got him or do I have him? Who's going to get him this time, right? And I was telling Rita, I came back so excited because I had this memory, and I went above it to find out, guess what? They liked me. I sucked at sports. That's all it was. Oh, you guys, 50 years later, they never liked me. They were pointing at me. They were doing all this. No, they wanted to win. Woo! I am free at last. They wanted to win the game. They weren't looking at me like I know everything inside of him and there's nothing good about Patrick. There's nothing. No. I wish I had had me 40 years ago talking to me about this. What a lovely thing. Do you know how free I was? I was running. And you know what? And I could take a basketball right now and I bet you I could sink it. Maybe. It takes a lot of belief, my friends. It takes a lot of belief. But how beautiful of a moment to allow ourselves to not be, condemned by our past. Not with self-condemnation. Now, did it ruin my whole life? No. But it did make me, every time I would, have any kind of contact sports, eyes would bug out. And they're coming at me. I get it. There's nothing like throwing a ball to somebody and them going, But I had other talents, just so you'll know. Wow. Isn't that's a hallelujah moment. tell you. So what did I do with that? I just embraced it. And I said, wow, to go and above and beyond the stories we've told ourselves. I was on the path. I also was eavesdropping because somebody was walking by, and you know how they're in their conversation. And I heard this girl, and what I do with conversations, because I'm just that type of guy, when I hear like a little snippet, I go, that's for me. You know, that line, only that line was only for me, or I would have heard the whole conversation. And it says, and this woman said, I don't know. She believes her own lies. She believes her own lies. Well, I was having a time on the Kaua'i path. I just want you to know I didn't even want to come back. Here's what I got out of that she was talking about her friend. But besides that, I got, we're all lying. Anytime that we say anything less than we are wonderful, magnificent, powerful, God, good, call it whatever you want, we are lying. And what she's saying is she believes her own lies. And how many times has that been true? How many times did I believe that little red-faced boy on a basketball court was not liked by anybody because they didn't choose me? So then I just continued to lie. And then anybody later on, it was okay, because then I could say, I don't do sports. You know, then it was fine. But the little boy was still saying, oh, they don't like me, man. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. And so nobody came in to say, hey, little Patrick, I got some news for you. That was a lie. They loved you. They always talked to you. They just didn't want to play with you in sports. Isn't it so true? It's like I went home to Rita. I was like, Rita, they wanted to win. And so that is what life's about. Sometimes we can step aside and say, you go ahead. Now, as a person who believes in nurturing children and giving them healthy upbringing, I would do things a little different. What I would say is that you know, the only reason that I wasn't good at sports wasn't because I was born, you know, the moment I was born, you know, the big sports god didn't go, not for you. It's just that I wasn't mentored into playing sports, and I just didn't play them, and now I can do without them. But I love to run. Why did I love to run? Because I wasn't in contact. I was on my own. I was competing with Patrick, and I liked it. And I could extend myself, and I didn't have anybody out there going, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that. I said, no, I'm just going to run. So I was thinking of this idea, too, that, I read this, I get so excited about this thing called life. I'm going to tell you. We are living legacies, by the way. That's part 2 of this talk. We are living legacies. I read this from Brendan Burchard. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but he says, freedom requires responsibility to choose who we are above and beyond our immediate impulses, needs, and social pressure, so that we can genuinely express the type of person we want to be, live the life we truly want to live, leave the legacy we desire. And it's interesting because I never really thought, of leaving a legacy in reality, even though I know that I'm a legend in my own mind. That was the laugh part. And what I realized is every single moment of our lives, we're leaving a legacy. This morning you woke up and you walked in here and you interacted with people, and I'm sitting here interacting with you, telling you all my private stuff. And I'm leaving a legacy in this very moment. So I have found this other one too that just, it was one of those stop you when you read it. The legacy you leave is the life you lead, and therefore legacy is the residue of a life well lived. Your life matters, as everything that you say and do is a deposit in your legacy. It has to be. The legacy you leave is the life you lead, and therefore legacy is the residue of a life well lived, or not. Your life matters as everything that you say and do is a deposit into your legacy. What I got out of this is how important you are. You are so important. I am so important. There is nothing in this world that we do as we breathe from breath to breath that doesn't matter. That is a waste of time. Every time you have a thought, you're depositing the legacy. Every time that we prayed for those wonderful soccer team in Thailand, we contributed to them getting out. That's how close we all are. Wow. Everything we're doing. Doesn't it make you for a moment just pause and think about what you're depositing? At least for me it does. What am I depositing? Every time I tell a lie to me, I'm depositing something that is not serving me or anyone else. Every time that I'm authentic and I tell the truth and I stand up here and I allow you to see me, to really see me, not what I want you to see, even though that's very tempting at times, I am leaving a legacy. If I were to leave tomorrow, no, this is not things that I'm trying to reveal to you that I know of. If I was to leave today, what did I leave? And the thing that comes up for me, a lot. Every single person I have interacted with, and not because I've done great things, not because, I haven't written the book yet, and then after that maybe we'll see. But not because I wrote great books or I accepted an Academy Award when I was in Hollywood, not because I'm me. That is legacy enough. Wow, look where we can go. Look how above and beyond we can go when we get in bed with that. Did I say that? Get in bed with that. That idea that we are walking, living, breathing legacies. And this is how important we are. Because what do we want to leave? What do we want to leave? I am so alive in this moment. So alive. We have a lot going on out in that world, and to tell you the truth, I am bored with that repetition of it. When we have something that's happening inside, I do not care what walls, I do not care what is going on in our political that makes you gasp. I do not care about that. What I do care about is that we have love. It's interesting, every once in a while I get in little debates on Facebook. I try not to. But a friend of mine said that she was flabbergasted because she saw a bumper sticker, not even a bumper, a whole sign on the back of a bus where she lives. It said, love yourself first and you're set. She was flabbergasted. That's the problem with the world. We're thinking of ourselves only. And then I felt all guilty because, we teach it. Me first. Then I started getting, don't get defensive. Don't get defensive. First of all, nobody's talking to you. You're talking to millions of people on Facebook, but you take it real personally, right? It's like I heard her talking to me because I teach for. So what I wrote back was thank you for this wonderful opportunity, the stimulating conversation that's going on. Because this is what I think the world needs, and I will end with that. It says, love thy neighbor as yourself. That's why we're in a lot of trouble. And I really believe that to some degree, that our problems that we're having is because we are loving our neighbors exactly the way we're loving ourselves. And it may not be every day, every moment, but that's the truth. And if you take a moment, just a moment, and this isn't about, I saw everybody's like, busted. You know, what this is about is it is impossible for me to love. It is impossible for me to get through this mess that our country appears to be in until I love myself first. Because there is not a way in heaven that we could treat anybody, and I've said it before, with that kind of disdain if we loved ourselves 100%. 100. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take that kind of resilience. And they say, oh, this is a passive philosophy. I say no, that's a lie. Anybody? It's a lie. This is an active philosophy. It's one that says love is what will go through anything, through it, as it. And that is, here I go. Woo! This is where I'm feeling, and so I wrote back and I said, the world is in dire need of loving themselves. Loving themselves. It's not selfish. That was another lie. When I love me, then I love you. I can't give you what I don't have. I can't give you love if I don't love myself. I can't give you peace if I have no peace of mind. And guess what? What? I had to do that because everybody's getting all like in that elevator. You know what I'm talking about. You're just going down. You guys, we're on the threshold, man, of something so fantastic. I love me. And let me tell you, there are many times in the day I have to remind myself of that. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Wouldn't it be wonderful to go, I love myself? And then that was it? Until you look in the mirror, or you look at this, or you look at that, or you look out there. And it's so great because then I can start getting everybody out there and I won't remember that I don't love myself 100%. So that's our only job. I can't give you love if I don't love myself. So you'll have to excuse me sometimes while I'm working on that. While I'm working on loving me at a deepest level that I can change the world. One alone with the infinite constitutes an entire majority, says Ernest Holmes. You matter. Each one of you, you're a legacy. All right. All right. I am complete. Namaste.
Along the road, and I asked him, where are you going? And this he told me. He said, I'm going down to Yasgur's farm. I'm gonna join it a rock and roll band. I'm gonna camp out on the land and try and get my soul free. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. Well, can I walk beside you? I've come to lose the smoke, and I'm feeling just like a ghoul. It's something turning round, around and round. Well, maybe it's just the time of year, or maybe it's the time of man. But I don't know who I am, but life is for learning. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. time we got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong, and everywhere was a song and celebration. And then I dreamed I saw the bombers ride a shotgun in the sky. They were turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Ah, Maria.
Thank you,
I
Maria.
saw the flashbacks happening there. I saw them. I saw them.
Yeah. Thank you. That was beautiful. It was very appropriate, too. Okay. So, yeah. I think when I give my money, we give our money to whatever, wherever we're spiritually nourished, or anywhere when we pay our bills, whatever we do. I feel for me, it's putting what I believe into action. So I thank you in advance. We thank you in advance for putting what you believe into action. And I know that it is returned to you abundantly. So let's read our mission together and really take in the words. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life, and the world. And so it is. We have a song in our program.
We are blessed.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have.
God is the abundance that is present right here in this room. This abundance that is overflowing, ever flowing so gracefully and so easily. I know that I am this abundance and that every individual in this room is blessed with the abundance in their lives each and every single day, flowing and with no nothing that is in the way of it. And so with this, I bless all the abundance that has been given today, for it to be multiplied and for it to bless the center that is constantly feeding each person that walks into this room with the love of God, and with transformation, and with beauty, and with grace. I am so grateful, so grateful for all that continues to be, and for all the abundance that continues to expand and multiply, for it to continue growing and expanding and transforming more lives on this island. I am so grateful. And so I release this into the law, knowing that it is already done, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and not just on this island, in the world.
Absolutely.
Because we do go out. We are really a global center, just so you know
Absolutely.
that. We have people all over the world that are touched by this center and come and visit us all the time and
great.
support us. And we're grateful for you if you're watching today, and even if you're not.
There we go.
So,
All righty.
all right, so I think we have some kids here with George.
That's
He
George.
looks
Give
like-
it up for George.
George, watch the speaker as usual.
There we go. And we have Malia there. Amelia, Ruby. Oh, here we go.
All right, it's on. Okay, well, we had to do a little thing here. It says God has no limits. And then they did all sorts of stuff. And this young gentleman right here cut up about a bunch of things and all that other jazz. What, you want to say something? This is Mason. He came the first time. All righty.
Thank you, George. Thank you for taking care of these wonderful, amazing spirits. So let's tell them who they are, guys, all right? You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Yeah. And we send that out to all the children in the world. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Okay. So we're going to ask the...
You guys can go now.
It's all right. You don't have to go. You can stay with us if you want. So we're going to ask the practitioners that'll be serving today to come on up. Dr. Peggy, Rima, Roseanne, anyone
Leah,
else? Malia,
Rob, back
who's
there.
back there.
Yes.
Please don't forget Rob. Other than Patrick, he's our only male practitioner, so not that we care.
So he
whether
has
it's a
his
male or
office
female.
already
He has
set
his
up for
office
you,
set up
so
for
you
you
can
over
just
there.
be right there.
So these wonderful light beings are licensed to know the truth for you. They're licensed in the skill and practice of spiritual mind treatment, and they gift that to you today. And so please take advantage of them. If something in your life that you want to know more truth about, whether it's financial or love or anything, it can be anything, creatively expressing yourself, your job, they're just going to do a treatment for you. So you just say, hey, you know what? I'm having problems getting work right now or whatever. And they'll know exactly what to treat for. They don't need to hear the whole story. If you want to do that, then you want to go deeper, then you should have a session with them. This is just a moment with them to know the truth. And that's really all it takes. Right, girls and boys?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that being said, I think that's it, right?
We're ready.
We're ready. So,
We're
and don't
ready,
forget
they're
men's
ready.
women's group. We're going to start like about 10 minutes after we end here. We'll set up some chairs right over there where Loya is and that
Loya
area, and
raised hand.
Arlena. Okay. Malia. All right. So, are we ready? Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's get on our feet and let's have at it.
Remember just who you are. Oh, remember your being of the stars. Oh, remember the wisdom within. Oh, remember all the joy you can bring. Oh, remember we can have peace on earth. Oh, remember all that you are worth. Oh, remember all that you know. Remember seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember all that you are. Remember, remember, remember the power of love.
And I do remember right here and right now who I am and who each and every one of us is in this moment. But I never forget gratitude, because gratitude is where it all begins. The gratitude of knowing that each and every one of us have come here on purpose, by divine purpose, by divine appointment, and we have shown up and we have shined. I can feel it, I know it, I am that. And with that gratitude, I want to thank the Malama team. Yes, Sue, Wood, Luis, and Anna, who absolutely just filled this room with love and acceptance. And oh, I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Our wonderful practitioner, Rima, here for the day. And for Rob back there, who just does so much work you can't even see it to make sure that this runs. And with our beautiful Jonathan, who runs and gets batteries right in the middle of this show to make sure that Rita is heard, that we're all heard. And Ron Stover and that wonderful, beautiful team. Welcome back, Ron. And Arlena and Peter, who are so faithful with these wonderful array of flowers. Thank you so much. You brighten our room. You really do. And Maria and Louise, thank you for that beautiful, beautiful, always contributing with that sound, that heartbeat, that music. And Janice, and who's not here, but George and Janice, and those wonderful children that you saw up there that are absolutely our future, and we bless them, and we bless Deb and Stephanie, who are counting the wonderful abundance as we stand here. So I just say thank you. I say thank you to this wonderful light being next to me, and me too. All right. Well, I'd like to thank us both. How about you? So we just say thank you, and I know that in the midst, at the very center of spirit, is this thing called gratitude, this thing called light, this thing called love, this self-love that is really that is spirit, that is good, that is God, that is expressing itself through each and every one of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being who and what we are, and that is good. So letting that be, I just release it. I let it go, as together we say, and so it is.
Remember just who you are. Oh, remember your being of the stars. Oh, remember the wisdom within. Oh, remember all the joy you can bring. Oh, remember we can have peace on earth. Oh, remember all that you are worth. Oh, remember all that you know. Remember seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember all that you are. Remember, remember, remember the power of love. The power of love.